Okay. Good evening, everyone. If you're joining us from Southeast Asia, today is our Monday evening webinar. We are in our 5th year of putting together this webinar. If you're joining us from the United States, good morning. And if you're joining us from Europe, good afternoon. Today's webinar is going to be a little bit about sales and a little bit about knowing your 10 oils. And I think it's an important concept because as we go out into the world and we want to talk to other people about the oils, how are we presenting them and how are we presenting ourselves? So let's get started. Let me share my screen with you. Okay, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Elena Jordan, and today's presentation actually is the culmination of something that I was doing over the weekend. An elite retreat, and I'm going to be in Asia very soon and talking to all of you about leadership training and how we can actually move to the next level. I had a couple of calls over the last couple of days talking to people about, can we do something like a boot camp, maybe for elites and above, an elite retreat. I just got back from doing an elite retreat over the previous weekend, and I think it is well worth it if you're thinking of advancing your team. The ideas presented here are based on the book, Essential Oils Healthcare for Today, A Beginner's Guide. Yes, I added that little moving arrow. I never had that before. It is about the top 50 health issues of today in A to Z format. And it is fondly known as the LRP book because it helps you find LRPs and easily build your team and retention. We're going to talk today a little bit about sales training. Now, I use a sales training technique in the United States called Emerge. If you're using another one or you find something that's more effective, then absolutely you should be using that. But I'm going to tell you the 5 keys as I see them to building sales within your team. So get out your notebooks. I'm just sipping a warm beverage. It's a little cold here this morning. And if you could take notes on the 5 keys, if you would. Okay, so first of all, what are the problems with sales? When we go to try to talk to someone about essential oils, they tell us they can't afford it, maybe it costs too much, they don't know which kit to buy, or if we're trying to sell it to them, then we want to know, what do I say? And then I guess the other problem is, how will I train a new person? I can barely do this myself, and yet I have to train someone else. And then why do people not buy? They don't buy because perhaps they feel pressure from us or from other sources. They have a lack of belief, whether it's the lack of belief in us or in the products themselves. They're confused or overwhelmed by how many choices there are. They may also think, again, that the product is too expensive, or better yet, they're already healthy. What do they need this for? And I've actually heard that from several members of this particular team. But I think now we know it's not about we're already healthy. It's about keeping healthy, staying healthy, even if you are healthy already. So why does Emerge sales training work? Emerge training, just one sales technique. We want to talk about how we're not demanding that people do sales training, but I think it's important for us, each and every one of us, as we are building our teams, that we begin to skill up. You need to build your skill level if you're going to build your team. So why does it work? Because it's not your upline telling you to sell some more. It trains customers to sell to other customers, so people who really have no sales training at all, because education doesn't solve problems, having oils does. So we can educate, teach. But if we don't actually get the oils in their hands, we're not going to be able to build our team. Because we need sales training, honestly. We don't want to become the aggressive salesperson. You don't want to be telling your story over and over and just following up all the time, basically nagging the other person. And because we want to be proactive rather than reactive. So here are the 5 keys to sales. And as I said, take out your pen and paper or maybe take photographs of the slides. And all of the slides will be posted on Team Power Diamond and Yo Oils Oil Camp alumni. So number 1 is you want to set up an appointment. Don't sell on the fly. We have a tendency to get much too excited or to give too much information. So when we originally meet someone, we may start talking very rapidly about a product that we love or how they're going to love it or how we can send them a sample. Suggest perhaps to them an appointment. And I've used this quote here over and over, and I actually keep it on my phone so that I can use it at any time. And I say, usually what I do is set up an appointment to talk about your health goals and concerns, a little bit about the company and the most popular kits. My part takes about half an hour. You don't have to buy anything, but if you see something you like, of course, I'll help you. What I find with that script is it basically explains to them exactly what I'm going to be doing during my part of the presentation, if you will, when I meet up with them. I'm not trying to get together with them and then sneak in essential oils on the side or force them to buy something that they don't want. They are clearly aware of what my appointment is going to be all about. So number one, set up an appointment. Number two, give an agenda for the appointment once you get there. So even if you get your foot in the door, you want to make sure that you're actually giving them the agenda again. And this, you can see the wording is very similar to the wording before you got the appointment. So you're building trust and getting rid of some tension. So you're saying something to the effect of, today we're going to go over your health goals, a little bit about the company and the most popular kits. My part takes about half an hour. You don't have to buy anything, but if you see something you like, of course, I'll help you to order it today. So you're telling them the same script that you told them before. You're repeating many of the same phrases that you used originally to set up the appointment. And there's no doubt in their mind that you're there for a sales appointment, not just for a friendly house call. Number three, you want to gain input. People buy because of their own, people buy because of their own goals or their own desires, but we always start with their own stories, but we always start with our own story. I want you to change this. I know that testimonials are very important, but I want you to really begin to listen to what their pain points are. So number one is something to the effect of, I don't want to bore you. What do you want to make sure we go over? Tell me about your health goals and concerns. And then repeat the phrase, what else, what else, what else, until you really tease out every single health goal. Now, this doesn't have to be as obvious as saying what else, what else, what else, right after each other. But what you want to do is listen to what their concerns are. I'm going to tell you a little story about when I first started working with essential oils. I thought the most important thing to use essential oils for were allergies, because I have allergies and I wanted people to be very knowledgeable about everything that we have, all the oils that we have that are great for allergies. So I would constantly tell people about essential oils for allergies. When I started asking groups of people, what are your health goals and concerns? Allergies almost never came up. It was really kind of crazy. And I realized that my telling that story had no value to my customers at all. So now what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm talking to them about their health goals and concerns. Also, what do they want to know about doTERRA? Have they heard something? Do they know another company? Are they comparing our products with something else? What do they need to know? So you want to listen well and love hard and take notes. You want to create a bond with your potential customer so that you can help them and never bring up yourself or the oil as they are talking about their health concerns. I'm concerned actually that we begin to lead with ourselves and not with the products or with their health concerns. And we want to turn that on its head. We want to make sure we're gaining the input of our customers. Number 4, you want to personalize the features and benefits of each and every oil. So if you're recommending something to them for perhaps anxiety or another problem that they may have, you want to make sure that you're personalizing that to them. Again, don't go down the road that I went down, which is basically presenting on allergies, whether people wanted to know about allergies or not. If you tell them everything, they won't remember. So for example, when you talk about lavender, have you ever not been able to fall asleep? Well, you can diffuse lavender as you sleep and it'll totally help. How does that sound? You want to get confirmation that they're listening and that they understood you. And when we're doing these types of presentations, especially selling to someone for the first time, we're limiting the number of oils that we're talking about. And really, we don't have to pass every oil around. I frequently now only pass 1 or 2 because I find that passing all 10 of the oils around can be distracting. Some people don't like the smells of the oils. And what we're talking about is not how the oils smell, but how effective they are using them with our different ailments. And that is extremely important that we keep in mind. doTERRA is so much more than just how something smells. When we're talking to someone else, it's a conversation and not a speech. You want to have a few scenarios ready so that you can talk about different things, which means you must know about your 10 oils really well. And you don't want to use cards or papers. You want to focus on the customer and their needs, both present and future. You can take some notes if you need to about that person or things that they've said. And here's just 3 statistics that I want you to remind you of. 20% of the people you speak to will buy no matter what. 20% will not buy no matter what. And 60% is up to you. So you have that real juicy 60% of the customers, the people that you talk to, that are willing to buy, and you can actually influence how they feel about essential oils and whether or not they're willing to try them. Number 5, make it easy with 2 choices, just like the toaster, right? We want to make sure that we're only choosing between 2 things at least to start. So what I find is very often we try to present all the kits at once, and it becomes very confusing for people. What I'd rather you do is you present only 2 kits, perhaps the family essentials and the home essentials, or if you're practicing on bigger kits, but only 2 at a time. If the person doesn't like those 2, then you can basically change it to 2 other kits. So you're making your product have value. You're not selling it as a commodity like gasoline or something else. You want to sell it, don't smell it, which is what we went back to before. Simple is better than smart. If neither works, show 2 more, maybe perhaps less expensive options. And you want to go back to your checklist. What were their concerns? Have you left anything off, or have you addressed all of their concerns? Do they need to smell something else? But remember, doTERRA is so much more than smell. An overwhelmed mind doesn't purchase. So you want to keep it really simple, just like the toaster, either left or right. Okay, our goal really is to get the oils in their cart. If we can't get the oils in their cart, right? I'm sorry, this is a little wonky. There we go. If we can't get the oils in their cart, they're not going to be able to try them and really use them. Okay, so now I want to talk to you a little bit about some upcoming things and show you a quick video. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but I want to introduce a quick video to you because I think it's important as we go into this fall season that we maintain our energy, we maintain our focus, and we really begin to think about believing in ourselves as we're going into this next period of sales. Okay, so number 1 is, what if you're not doing it? What if you're just not doing any of this? You are just procrastinating. You're not getting out there. You're not calling people. You're not making appointments. You're not having classes. You haven't gone to any events. How do we stop procrastinating? So the key is not getting things done. The key is getting things done without inner conflicts and all the emotional turmoil. What we tend to do is we tend to build it up. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I can't do this. I can't make an appointment. I haven't seen anybody in weeks. My upline is going to find out. They're going to know that I'm a fraud. These are the types of things, the conversations we want to eliminate in our daily routine. One of the things that I found very helpful, and I hope you will too, is actually 2 things. Number 1 is 6 weeks to a new rank, which is actually a little booklet. I'm going to have some of these booklets with me when I come to Asia. It breaks down easily where you are and where you want to go and how in the next 6 weeks you can basically begin to rank advance if that's what you choose to do. The other thing that I want you to clearly consider is leadership. Leadership can be a big boost in the arm. And while leadership is not right now, if you are thinking of qualifying for leadership, you need to be working towards those goals right away, especially for U.S. leadership. So for U.S. leadership, We have our 2019 leadership retreats. There are going to actually be 2 of them. First one is in Atlanta, Georgia, and March 6th through 8th. To be able to qualify for leadership, you must have reached the rank of silver or above before the end of January. So for those of you who I'm speaking to in the US, or if you are in Asia and considering coming to the US, you want to make sure you've achieved your rank, which is why many of these techniques that I'm teaching you now are important for you to begin to build your teams. The other one that we want to think about is the San Diego Leadership Retreat on March 18th through 20th. If you're thinking of coming, if you're going to be on the West Coast, maybe if you are in Asia, that might be a little bit easier for you. We, of course, have 2 additional leadership retreats that I'd like you to consider. Also, Australia on July of 24th through the 26th. And I don't have the exact location of it yet. And then finally, the Taiwan leadership, which actually just passed. So when we talk about Taiwan, it's really almost at a different time of the year, but leadership is a very important way for you to grow your team and to work towards goals. You're around other people that have achieved things, that have worked together, and can provide inspiration and leadership to you. Okay, at the U.S. Leadership Retreats, we're going to hear from an American author named Rachel Hollis. She is a motivational speaker and blogger for a website called The Chic Site. Her self-help book, Girl, Wash Your Face, has spent more than 17 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. And I actually just listened to this as an audio on Audible, book with her reading the book out loud. And I found it very, very inspirational. So even if you're not going to see Rachel Hollis, especially for you ladies, please consider getting a copy of her book or listening to her online. I think that doTERRA chose her for a reason. She has overcome enormous obstacles. She's very persistent. And she also is just, lovely and kind. And she talks about some of the lies that we tell ourselves that can basically prohibit us from moving ahead. Here's the book, Girl, Wash Your Face, which is basically the idea that when we're having a tough day and we don't know where to proceed, you want to have that friend who comes up beside you and says, you know what, let's fix you up and get you back out there. And the first step, obviously, is to just wash your face. When you're feeling down or tired, you don't know what to do, you need some motivation, you want to be able to have that friend. And Rachel Hollis, at least as I was listening to it, felt like a dear friend who was kind of talking to me directly and saying all the words I think that were important for me to understand and to move on to the next level. So I strongly recommend it. For my readers, get a copy of the book. For my people who are like, I don't have time to read, get an Audible, download it, and you can listen to it in your car, on your commute, in your house, while you're making dinner, while you're taking a bath, whenever you want. But it's definitely worth listening to. Okay, Girl, Wash Your Face is about stopping believing the lies about who you are so you can become who you were meant to be. So the truth is, you and only you are ultimately responsible for who you become and how happy you are. Understand that you choose your own happiness. And it doesn't mean you have to be president of the United States to be happy. It doesn't mean you have to be a presidential diamond to be happy. But you want to feel that wherever you are, you have fully owned your happiness and taken charge of where it is you feel you want to go in your life. Okay, we're starting a new campaign in the U.S. Actually, I'm starting a new campaign in the U.S. called Keychain Campaign for the Homeless. We actually may call this the Keychain Campaign for the Needy, but is a way for us to give back in communities that are really suffering. And over the next few weeks, you're going to be hearing more and more about this. It was an idea that came out of the Elite Retreat in the U.S. So for those of you who are at the Elite Retreat, thank you. As a Blue Diamond, I'm allowed to spearhead a charitable effort, and I've decided to put my efforts into this. I had looked at a lot of different organizations and charitable groups that I felt were worthy of my time, but I didn't connect quite until I talked to someone about this particular effort. So we're going to be sending out more information about the Keychain campaign for the homeless or for the needy, helping people that really need our help to get a little bit of love, a little bit of doTERRA love in a small pouch, and then helping them to really use those oils. As you know, the homeless situation, at least in the United States, has, in certain cities especially, is really at a crucial level. And many of those people have no access to healthcare. They have no access to any sorts of means of taking care of themselves. And this is just a tiny way for us to perhaps give back to those communities. Okay, so I want you to remember, you are amazing. And I'm always thinking about you during the week. And in the weeks ahead, we will have one more live call on November 5th, and then we will not have a call the following week on November 12th, because I will actually be in Asia. When I return, we're going to have another call. I want you to have an amazing end of month, and then I'm going to, as soon as I finish this portion of the presentation, I'm going to show you a quick video, which is, I think, important for you to listen to. Okay, I want to thank you all for being here, and have a wonderful week. Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can call up my, whoops, stop the share. Here we go. Oops. Okay, so this is actually an interview that Emily Wright gave to Devin Thorpe, who is a contributor to Forbes magazine, and it's called "Global Impact Comes from Female Co-Founders' Success with $1 Billion Enterprise." Can everybody see my screen? Can you just give me a thumbs up or a yes in the chat? Okay, I'm going to go ahead.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Your Mark on the World show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe. I'm a Forbes contributor covering social entrepreneurship and impact investing, and our guest today is Emily Wright. She's one of the co-founders at doTERRA and one of the most successful entrepreneurs we've ever had on the show. You don't want to miss this episode.
Welcome to Your Mark on the World, bringing you another change maker with...
Hold on, folks. I realize I didn't share that properly. Okay, let's go.
Of social good, Devin D. Thorpe. Hey, Devin, how are you?
Emily, we're thrilled to have you on the show. Thank you very much for joining me. We're excited, and one of the things that makes you interesting, unique, special is that you are such an extraordinarily successful entrepreneur, and quite frankly, you're a woman. And so I want to talk a little bit about your experience as a successful entrepreneur who is coincidentally a woman. And let's start by asking Emily how you think being a woman has contributed to your success.
Boy, that's a deep question. I think it really helps me. I think we think a little bit differently. I work with a lot of men. I've got 6 now business partners that I work with. I'm the only female. And I love the way they think and everything that they contribute. And I think they appreciate what I contribute. I think as a woman, we kind of think in living color a little bit, come from a softer place, a little bit more compassion that's brought to the table. But what I love most is empowering other women. And I think that's really needed in this world. I think a lot of women have lost their identity. I think we get busy in our day-to-day work and taking care of family and children, and we lose sight of who we are. And I love to show women where they're valuable and help them find that full potential and live that out.
Okay, so I'm actually going to stop the share there. You can find this on YouTube. As I said, Global Impact Comes from Female Co-Founder Success with $1 billion Enterprise. She goes on to talk a lot about how she wants to empower women. She talks about co-impact sourcing and traveling around the world, and how important it has been for her to be able to really talk to other women and help them to see their value, and also not to allow them to kind of give up. It's very easy sometimes when not just women but men as well to say, I don't know where to go with this. How many times will I have to do the same thing? How can I continue to succeed and not to feel like giving up? We all have that sense of, I can't do it, or I feel like an imposter. I'm not as far along as I felt or I hoped that I would be. I think she addresses that point very well. And as we know, she is a woman who has traveled, raised a family, worked in multiple different corporations, worked as a founder of doTERRA, and continues to inspire all of us. She was actually just in New York, and I was able to spend some time with her along with many of the other diamonds that were there at the New York meeting. And when I found this clip, I thought, you know what, this is something that I really want to share with everyone. So today we are actually going to be sharing 2 essential oils. Let's say we want to share 2 ylang-ylang. We're going to share 2 ylang-ylang today because ylang-ylang is a wonderful oil for feeling inspired, for feeling uplifted, and it also is a terrific oil. If you haven't added it to your routine, it is one of the floral oils. It's kind of a heady floral, if you will, and I think you're really going to like it. So we're giving away 2 ylang-ylang today, and they are going to they are going to Jenny Jane and Fabian. Today's oils, 2 ylang-ylang, 1 each to Jenny Jane and to Fabian. I want to thank you all for having been on the call. Thank you for listening to my kind of raspy voice. I'm trying to solve this as soon as I can so that by the time I get to Asia, I'll have my regular voice back again. I look forward to seeing you one more week until I can see you live and in person. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you all back here again next week. Bye-bye now.